Well, how's it going, lady and gentlemen? My name is JT here on behalf, once again, of the Ethfinance Community on Reddit. And thanks to the EVMavericks on the Discord for hosting yet another episode of the Daily Doots Happy Hour. Number 55 for February 9th, 2024. Give us a thumbs up wherever you see us. And we're going to get right into this. The Weekly Doots live stream is all about showcasing the best of the week from the Ethfinance Community on Reddit. This is a read-along reaction series, and if you want to follow along, head to dailydoots.com, designed and produced by our very own beloved Hani Abu. And while you're at it, go grab today's POAP. Big thanks to Tricky Troll for curating all of the Daily Doots that you see every day in Ethfinance, and the A-Word for curating this beloved weekly list. By the way, that POAP you can get is now available for checkout on Ethereum, Arbitrum, Optimism, and Base. All right, so now we've also added a podcast availability to Spotify and pods.media. Give us a few hours and we'll have this episode ready to mint on Optimism thanks to pods.media. Find us there at pods.media/EVMavericks. And as always, if you know someone who wants a piece of this action, send them my way. Let's jump right on in. Let's go right over to our rich list here. We see at the top of the list, sorry, not the top. We're going to start at number 10, Ethical Trade at 63, Scientist at 65, Hani Abu at 67, Set One Less at 76, 696 ETH at 77, Tricky Troll at 82, Crypto Currency at 91. Benito 2030 was slam dunking this week. He went above 100. He's at 102. Logri the Bard sits at 106. And the almighty everlasting Super Fizz sits atop the leaderboard at 162. Let's jump right into this week. As always, I have never looked at these to see what they are in advance, so it's always a surprise to me. And the announcement right at the top, Benito 2030 surpasses 100 Daily Doots. The Morning Trinity. Hey, Chibi chimes in. Ethereum Frank the Tank clocks in at 2450.76 on the price. And Alexis Kef at 0.053 on the ratio. The weekly haiku. The next fork in March. Continuously overarch. Leave the rest to parch. JS Tears. Thank you so much. How does he do it? How does he do it? Our ship post of the day, because we always like to save the best for first, comes to us by way of Doom Fuzz Slayer. I got your points. Meet me on the corner of West 32nd and Buterin at 10 tonight. Dress like you're leaving the bar early, heading home to a WoW raid. Act casual, like you know me. Talk in a Lithuanian accent. My devs don't like Americans. Bring your seed phrase and pass it when we shake. If you hear somebody with a Swiss accent, just keep moving and don't make eye contact. Our danger word is Cardano. You hear that word, get the hell out of there. If this works, your points will show up in 48 hours. Within 48 hours. These are loyalty points for fun. Like, maybe we'll let you in on an AMA with the devs someday. We're not doing a token. You hear me? Don't even mention a token. If you do, let's just say not all airdrops end. Oh, what did I do with the... Oh my God, I screwed myself. Not all airdrops end well if you catch my drift. Man, that is a piece of work right there, Doom Fuzz Slayer, with our ship post of the week. Holy crap. Nice job. I got your points. Meet me on the corner. Oh, wonderful job. Thank you, A-Word, for picking that one out. That's a good one. All right, so we don't have any guests today. We're going to get right into the Weekly Doots. The Hans Gruber is looking into cool new staking hardware. I spent some time at the rack last night updating the staking machine, swapping some patch cables, etc. I've got a new, to me, managed PoE switch, and I'm pretty excited about. Going to learn how to do VLAN stuff for better security, and so I can install some PoE cameras. I got to rent a trenching machine and bury some cable too. Not really excited about that part. I'm in going down the PoE rabbit hole. I came across a couple of interesting PoE devices, including a PoE NUC, which is awesome. It's priced like enterprise grade hardware because it is, but a fanless PoE NUC that has the processing power to stake. yet is power efficient enough to be able to operate over PoE is a dream. I already have the machine I'll be using as a node set operator setup, but I am considering throwing my hat into Operation Solo Staker with EtherFi 2. If I could just hit one of those lottery blocks people keep talking about, I would consider grabbing one of these PoE NUCs. While doing my normal monitoring, I noticed that on mainnet validators, the rewards per epoch have begun to consistently drop below 10,000 GWE. And I wonder if we'll ever see 5-figure reward epochs again. Haleshki validators never saw 5-digit GWE rewards. It launched with well over 1 million validators. I think we have closer to 1.5 million validating currently. These little guys are receiving 7,000-ish GWE per epoch. Excuse me. Will we see 1.5 million activators on mainnet? I'm guessing that might be close to the upper limit of what people will accept as a return on their investment, depending on what restaking does to the overall APR, of course. I don't have enough info to begin to speculate on that. I'm going to say this wrong, but somebody correct me. Is it Denkun? I'm going to say Denkun because I heard somebody with a fancy brain say it that way, and I don't know. The Denkun upgrade went boringly good on Sepolia, and after updating the Haleshki machine with a consensus client log reads, info ready for DNEB. Me too, computer. Me too. Mainnet soon after. It's in the voice of the thing. It's blobbering time. So PoE, Hans Gruber, correct me if I'm wrong, PoE is power over Ethernet, so it looks like looking at a power over Ethernet NUC, powered right off of a switch. All right, that's pretty cool. Yeah, very good. Hans Gruber, thanks for sharing that. Let us know how it goes for you. User Benito2030 gives us a comprehensive rundown on restaking. What is restaking? I will try to explain using EigenLayer as an example, following up on user stablecoins posts, but also because I have seen a lot of comments and questions, and I think the concept isn't really clear. Please keep in mind that I'm also writing this to structure my thoughts, but I'm not an expert at all, so things here might be wrong. If you spot mistakes, please correct them. Question: what is the general idea of restaking? Restaking means that we use capital that is staked to secure Ethereum, both staked ETH and validators, but also via LSTs, and also use it to secure something else and something else. Well, what kinds of things can be secured by restaking? Basically anything. It could be an oracle, a data availability solution, an L2 app chain, anything that needs security. Bootstrap, why is this needed? Bootstrapping security for a new protocol is hard, especially if you want the validator set to be decentralized. EigenLayer wants to be a, quote, a marketplace for trust, end quote. On this marketplace, protocols that need trust, security can tap into the already existing staked capital that Ethereum offers and build on that. EigenLayer's thesis is that this is way easier than building it on your own. Their argument also builds on Web 2. Why have your own servers or authentication, etc., when you can just build in the cloud? For example, AWS or Auth0, etc., equals existing solutions that allow you to focus on your core product. Important. The existing solution is not EigenLayer, but the security offered by stakers and holders of LSTs. So, how does this marketplace, the EigenLayer, work? New protocols that want to build on EigenLayers basically define what kind of trust or security they need. This comes down to this. Do they want only solo or home stakers to secure their network, or are LSTs okay as well? At the same time, excuse me, they define what they are willing to offer for that service. How much are they willing to pay for securing their network? This could be an ETH, their native token, etc. Also, they of course define what the restakers have to do to secure the network. This means they provide a software or client that the restakers have to run to secure the protocol. This is similar to what stakers run with execution and consensus clients to secure Ethereum. All of these are called AVSs. actively validated services. Actively. Someone needs to do an action. Restakers start by either creating an eigenpod or depositing LSTs. An eigenpod is a smart contract that a validator points to. So if a validator wants to exit the beacon chain, the ETH goes to the eigenpod first. Similarly, by depositing LSTs into eigenlayer, you deposit into a smart contract. If the restaker wants to exit eigenlayer, there is a 7-day period before they can finally really withdraw their assets. Excuse me. This means that the assets don't leave the validator or the eigenlayer smart contract. The secured protocol does not control the assets. After depositing, restakers then opt in if they are willing to secure the new protocol. If they accept the offer made by the protocol, run the client, and secure the network and are paid for this service according to the terms. There will also be operators that run the clients for you. So the restaker deposits but delegates the actual management of the clients to a third party. In that case, you obviously trust someone else to do the job of securing correctly, just like you do with the LSTs or distributed proof of stake in other ecosystems. These operators, of course, ask for a fee to do that. If they behave according to the protocol's rules, such as they secure the protocol as intended, then they are paid. If they misbehave, they can be slashed, just like someone could be slashed on the beacon chain. So how does the slashing work now? If they are caught, the protocol can ask Eigenlayer to slash the restaker. Eigenlayer right now has a slashing committee. That's my term. I don't know if that's the real name of it. The committee basically checks if the restaker really misbehaved and if the slashing request is fair. So right now, a protocol can't just slash you as a restaker. There is a centralized security mechanism in place. If the restaker indeed attacked the network, they can't withdraw their LSTs and the LSTs are slashed. If they have a validator right now, no one can force them to exit the validator. So they can continue validating Ethereum, but when they want to exit, they will withdraw to the eigenpod, and then the eigenlayer protocol can slash the portion that is supposed to be slashed before the restaker can withdraw the rest. I don't know what happens to the assets that are being slashed. Maybe someone can add to that. Are those burned? Going to the protocol that did the slashing, that would be a strange incentive, but maybe that's the case. So where does the yield come from? Well, first of all, there is no yield just by depositing. Only if you start securing one or more protocols, you will receive yield. This also means that right now there is only smart contract risk, no slashing, etc. This yield is what these protocols offer to restakers for their service for securing the new protocol. It can be paid in different tokens or a mix. Could be new issuance. It could be from their treasury. It could be part of the fees they make with the product running on top. But Benito, this all sounds great. I was told Eigenlayer is a huge risk. I don't get it. That is like risk-free yield on top of risk-free yield? If you were around in spring of 2022, you might remember 3AC, Three Arrows Capital. They were long when the market was going down, and at one point, lending firms asked for more capital from 3AC. But what did 3AC do? They used the same collateral over and over again. So what happened? All the lending firms found out that the collateral they thought they could liquidate or slash was posted as collateral with other lenders as well. 3AC basically restaked the same collateral over and over again. No lending firm could liquidate the collateral. No lending firm could liquidate the collateral, and they all went tits up. The whole market crashed, and it was a dark time. Of course, this was off-chain and Eigenlayer is on-chain. With restaking, we know how many times a certain asset is used to secure a certain protocol. But in the end, something similar could happen. You deposit asset X once, attack several protocols, and all protocols find out that they can't slash because it was slashed already. On top, we could see borrowing and lending pools that allow LRTs, which are known as liquid restaking tokens, to be deposited. So an attacker could even borrow against it to acquire more an attack cheaply. Using the same collateral several times is something that can be abused. Yes, it's on chain, so more transparent, but that doesn't make it bulletproof. We will witness attacks. This might lead to a cascade of liquidations and could down so many protocols. And always remember, these assets started as stake to secure Ethereum. In a worst case scenario, each security might be diminished and attacks might be possible in ways we can't even imagine today. I hope this explains restaking, but it might just be more confusing because I'm missing things. The structure sucks, etc. I don't know. If you have questions, post them. That was a long post on restaking by our good friend Benito 2030. And as always, if anybody wants to chime in, just simply unmute and cut me off. This is your show too. All right, Alexis Kef introduces POAP Global, a cool new use case. Exciting news for the POAP enthusiasts. POAP Global, let's open up this website and see what we got here for a landing page. A project which is not officially related to POAP, but rather a community project that utilizes the POAP tools. They just had their official launch, POAP.global. And there's the landing page, and it's very slick. Nice. All right, we'll continue on. Before publishing this comment, I asked Patricio Werthalter, the POAP founder, regarding the project's legitimacy, and he gave me a thumbs up. Yes, we support them. The founder is a valued member of the official POAP curation body. This is a side gig. So I went through their website, and I will try to explain what they are and what it is they are launching. What is POAP Global? It's a groundbreaking, this is a quote, groundbreaking extension of the proof of attendance protocol concept operated by HODL Labs. Imagine being part of a worldwide, in real life scavenger hunt. Only in this game, the treasures are unique digital collectibles at every landmark, and the playground is planet Earth. Oh, that's fun. Well, how do you participate? Well, you can either, again, a quote, you can either host a POAP at a location of your choice or travel and collect other people's POAPs. A host, you can host a POAP at a location of your choosing, whether it's a favorite hiking trail, a landmark, or a hidden gem in your city, and you can make it a part of this global game. This is like kind of geocaching in a way, right? So step 1, submit location. Step 2, purchase a POAP NFC dispenser from their store. Hey, I got one of those things. Where'd it go? Squirrel. Okay, I got one. Visitors will be able to tap their phone against the NFC to instantly receive your special POAP for that location. And number 3, program dispenser. When you first receive your dispenser, you'll be given a menu to select your approved POAP and program into the NFC. There is also a global leaderboard in the works to, quote, showcase the top explorers and collectors, and a dynamic globe that pinpoints where all the POAPs are hidden. As for the collectors, as a traveler and explorer, you can embark on a journey to collect POAPs from various locations hosted by others. It's a digital treasure hunt that takes you to new and exciting places. The idea seems to be a perfect use case on how to further utilize the POAP protocol. I jumped right in and bought a small number of the NFC dispensers. I plan to install them at my hometown center and in my local sports team's soccer grounds. So let's take a look at, I want to see what they got. Is this it, right? Oh, this is it right here. Cute. All right, it's a little tiny NFC thing here. This is sweet. Purchase, and this is what the container looks like. It's a pre-order. $25 for a sticker. Okay, excellent. So it's a sticker. And I'm sure you could have like, where is mine? Yeah, here it is. I wonder if I got this IYK disc. I need to load it up for ETH Denver. I'm wondering how many of these POAP Global things are going to be at ETH Denver, just stickers everywhere, you know. Pretty cool. All right, very good. So that's a great post. I didn't know about that. Thank you to the A-Word for grabbing that for this week. And that's Alexis Kef. I've met him in real life, really, really sweet person. His wife too, yeah. Very good. Moving on down. Boom. User Web of Trust shares their experience as a newcomer to running a node. Folks here understand and are comfortable running an Ethereum node, but sharing my learning and experience in running a non-staking node. There is a learning curve and documentation needs some improvement. The knowledge is siloed within Discord, and in some cases, you're at the mercy of support from the dev team. I learned a lot, definitely more comfortable sharing and talking about different clients, node and confident. Nodes and confident that I'm confident that I can help someone struggling with running a node. This was a test run on my Raspberry Pi, waiting for proper hardware to test the script again. Without the support and motivation from the members of this wholesome community, I would not have considered heading in this direction. So thank you, my dudes. Well, thank you, Web of Trust, on sharing your experiences. And I'm going to open up this tab here. Oh, wow, they made a little website based off of their experiences. And it's a long read, but it really dives into the experience line by line from beginning to end. This is probably going to have a lot of good resources for people interested in running a node. And I read that right? He did it on a Raspberry Pi. It was a test run on his Raspberry Pi. Okay, very good. Good luck with that. Super Fizz, the almighty everlasting man himself, gives some sound advice around taking worthwhile risks. Oh boy, here we go. Now, this is pretty wise, even though it means you won't get an early participant advantage if restaking is successful. Let me see what I'm going to see if this was a reply to someone else. Let me see, show the parent comment. Okay, Sean Nathan Waters asks, he's a duder number 2. Am I the only one waiting to partake in EigenLayer until there's a track record of it being battle tested? Okay, and then Superfizz has replied, this is pretty wise, even though it means you won't get an early participant advantage if restaking is successful. In 2009, people who took a risk on Bitcoin did well. In 2014, people who took a risk on Ether did well. In 2015, people who took a risk on the DAO were bailed out in a one-time network fork. In 2017, people who invested in ICOs like EOS, oh man, shivers, lost lots of money on products that never materialized. There's really no way to say what will happen with restaking. I'm not convinced that there's a large enough market to support what's being built. Maybe it will develop, or maybe it'll just trend towards other solutions. All of this is a risk, and it's wise to wait and see. As I've said publicly, I'm okay missing a huge win, and I'm going into all of these opportunities with a total of about 1% of my coins. I'm okay with the outcome. I can sense that a lot of my investment-oriented friends think I'm just being negative, but I'm here for the long-term success of Ethereum, not the flavor of the week. Just be who you are. I want to go back into that. I want to see, there was another, I think it was Interweaver. Now I gotta go chase him down. Interweaver had some thoughts on EigenLayer and kind of like the risk tolerance that he had for it. And I hope I can find his comment. This is just me. Okay. Great. Multiple things. Here it is. No. You'll probably find, I don't mean to be a doom post. There it is. Okay. I think this was it. Probably be fine. Top comments of the daily, probably be fine. Man, I wish I could find it. This is my bad on my part, but he was kind of giving the fact that EigenLayer has some centralization going on, and it's like I think the headline that he wrote, it was something along the lines of the amount of money deposited into EigenLayer secured by a 3 of 5 multisig is more than the amount of money given to EOS during the ICO token sale. So I only brought up EOS because it got brought up before, which at the time I think was something like, gosh, was it like $4 billion worth of ETH or something? But the point is that there's a multi-sig that's like hanging on to a lot of that. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I wish Interweaver was in here. And he was just trying to give some color to, the whole thought about it. Yeah, it looks like maybe it was. I know I'm like stuck on trying to find this now, so I don't want to misquote him, which that would make me feel bad. And mine, yeah, is this it? Okay, here it is. Obviously, everyone has different risk tolerances. Okay, EigenLayer, a protocol with no live product, a token that is currently an entry in some database somewhere in a 3 of 5 multisig, now controls more Ether in USD terms than was grifted, says raised by the EOS ICO in 2017. You guys putting more than a few percent of your stacks are absolutely wilding. I truly hope it works out for you, but I also hope you're mentally prepared to lose everything if it goes south. ETH some sense replied, they told me I was wilding for putting all my net worth into Bitcoin. They told me I was wilding for trading it to ETH at 0.02. Sometimes in crypto, you have to take risks. Concentrated bets build wealth fast or lose it fast. Diversified bets build wealth slow or lose it slow. Good luck to those farming. Good luck to those remaining sidelined. I hope that everyone is still happy with their decision in a year. That was ETH some sense due to number 3. Interweaver responds, obviously everyone has different risk tolerances, but I would suggest that putting money into EigenLayer in its current form is in no way comparable to investing in Bitcoin or post-ICO Ether. It's the difference between real, live, in-production assets that you are in exclusive control of and which have actual innovative tokenomics, and investing in points in a database that the team has literally stated will never become tokens, wildly assumed to be lying, but still, and which, when they become tokens, will only be governance tokens with no tokenomic reason to think they should have value, and all for a project that offers precisely 0 actual restaking yet. If buying Bitcoin or Ether early in their existences was wild, this is much more wild. It might be comparable to investing in the ETH ICO, and we all know how that turned out, or it might be more comparable to investing in the EOS ICO, which we also know how that turned out. I'm definitely wishing everyone luck, but nobody should be assuming it's any kind of a sure thing. Okay. And then it goes on from there. But I just wanted to add some color to the risk tolerance ideals behind EigenLayer. And as always, if you're on Discord and you want to chime in, just cut me off and hop on. Very good. All right. Ethical trade. I always say ethical when it's in part of a sentence. I say ETH when it's by itself and eth when it's part of a word. I try anyway. Ethical Trade shares some great news on the client diversity front. By the way, Ethical Trade, that's a long time duder. They also make a royalty-free music, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Duder number 63. A month ago, Get's market share was 84%. Yesterday, it was 78%. Today, it is 73%. And also good news, the 5% difference between yesterday and today went to Nethermind, which makes the execution layer clients list as follows. Geth at 73%, Besu at 14%, Nethermind at 12%, and Aragon at 2%. I've not been able to identify the providers that kept their words, but I'm hoping one of our experts will soon be able to tell. There was, I don't know if anybody put it in the weekly, but there was a reply from Kraken that was basically saying, we're not going to tell you what we're doing with our clients. Just know that we're paying attention. Yeah, okay. Austin ST shares Vitalik's latest ETH research post on the gas limit. Tony and Vitalik put together an ETH research post on increasing the block gas limit, and there's a link here. This topic had a moment in the spotlight a few weeks ago when Vitalik suggested we might be able to handle a block size increase and kicked off a flood of discussion. I haven't seen as much of a social media fuss recently, but with this post, we're getting into the research of it, to do it and how to do it safely. Their strategy for increasing the gas limit, decreasing it first. Well, kinda. The trouble is, that large blocks are possibly an issue today, even without an increase. There is a great figure in the post showing that reorged blocks tended to be almost 2 times larger in bytes than blocks that get finalized. Discussion about confounding factors aside, it does seem to suggest that a native gas limit increase would hurt consensus health. But block size comes in a distribution. The biggest blocks are a problem, but the median block size is 14.5 times smaller than the maximum possible. Very conservatively low. So what Tony and Vitalik are aiming to do is to decrease the maximum block size and reduce variance so that we can safely increase the average block size. With blobs coming up soon, the central idea is to increase the gas cost of call data, the current way of getting data into the EVM. Increasing the gas cost of call data means that blocks can hold less before they fill up. So we get a reduction in max block size. Then we could feel safe about increasing the gas limit somewhat, presumably making space for more EVM execution rather than data storage to occur, and possibly make room for more blobs per spot. The post has 5 different suggestions for how to do this. Personally, I like multi-dimensional EIP 1559 with a separate market for call data, but the post argues that may be overly complex. Austin ST, thank you so much. Austin ST, legendary guy. This dude is a Duder 43, and he's also a partner in the rocket school endeavor that we're going to be showing off at ETH Denver. Set One Less warns us about a bad experience with a certain smart wallet. After many years in crypto, I seem to have run into the first instance of losing my wallet, air quotes losing my wallet, which is an account abstraction wallet from Particle Network. Created through the signing in with email or Twitter or Discord, but I'm unable to recover it for whatever reason. Apparently, I may have used a different email or social account, but I doubt that. I have tried logging back in with all my accounts in various combos, but it only loads a brand new wallet and not the ones which had the funds in it. The Particle Network Discord is filled with people complaining about losing access to their wallet, and the only reply they are getting is, read the FAQ. If you are a crypto native, using an AA wallet seems rather pointless. Not only does it create a dependency on a centralized wallet provider, another example, people losing access to Argent, but also bugs and or glitches can lead you to losing your wallet. Here's an update. Particle Wallet seems to be extremely poorly designed. There are multiple channels on their Discord with people complaining about being unable to access their funds. Seems signing in with the original social media and email account sometimes results in a brand new wallet being created, and not the earlier wallet that was in use and funded by users. What's worse is that the team is not willing to accept there is an issue, but instead seem to hold their ground that everything is working as expected, despite hundreds of users complaining about being locked out of their wallets. The fact that so many people have the same issue in accessing their wallet, at the very least, requires the wallet team to look at the issue more closely instead of firing off a read FAQ template message. It's shameful that Linnea are using such operators for point scheme where scores of users are unable to even access the wallet they created earlier. At this point, I can only warn others from using any wallet related to Particle Network, including Ally.build, and that is by our friend Set One Less. I want to see their point score. They're up there on the leaderboard, I believe. Set One Less is at 76 on the Doots rich list. 696 starts a discussion about securing your stack. Caught up on the last few dailies, and I seem to feel that people lose a lot. Can we talk about securing our bags a bit and thinking of how to avoid losing the entire stack? Yes, it's an unpleasant thing to think about, but I'd rather do it and not get wrecked completely. I'll start with some of the things that I do and remember off the top of my head, and feel free to chime in with others. Here's the first bullet point. Whenever the link is needed, especially important for airdrop claims or something big money related, go to the official source, and even to double check. rather than clicking on whatever you see or someone sent you. Bullet number 2, if somebody or something is rushing you to make a decision quickly, quite likely it's a scam. Even if it's not a scam, you are losing out on a potential opportunity, no matter how generational wealth that opportunity is. But saving your bags, if you still have the bags, then you can capitalize on future opportunities. And finally, don't download anything that's given to you in the crypto world. Sometimes people DM me with links and even trusted people, and I tell them I wouldn't download any files even if I trust them, because what if they got hacked and now somebody is targeting me? Yeah, no kidding. 696, he's out there on Twitter, and I'm sure he is a pretty healthy target. So that's some good sage advice there. And finally, Seek Soldiers. Seek Soldiers shares his latest write-up about rocket pools. Seek Soldiers this is Jasper the Friendly Ghost. He's a Duder 15. I want to get him on the show. I actually reached out to see if we could squeeze him in today, but apparently he has class. And as soon as I heard that he has class, I was thinking he's sipping wine with a pinky out, but apparently he's a teacher. We all know he has class, and he also has class. So one of these days, Jasper, I'd love to get you on. All right, it's been a long time since I've made a top-level post, so here it feels like, alas, that's what medical school does to a person. I'm back to share with everyone my first major writing piece in over a year. Okay, I get it. So he's not a teacher. He's a student in medical school. Man, the world needs you, my friend. Good luck with that. Hybrid theory. Rocket Pool's middle way between native liquid restaking and pure staking. Yeah, I saw this tweet. The Rocket Pool PDAO will soon be voting on allowing, alternating, or denying my proposed integration bounty. This essay outlines why I think it's a good idea for Rocket Pool, Eigenlayer, and Ethereum writ at large. The broad idea is that we can enable node operators to join Eigenlayer without adding risk to our ETH holders if we integrate in a way that retains senior debt for Rocket Pool. I dub this hybrid restaking. The essay goes through all the different ways people can restake today and outlines their flaws. Hybrid restaking enables permissionless node operators to be sustainably profit maxi without harming our ETH. Rocket Pool node operators could experience many airdrops and yields from different AVS services. I'm happy to answer any sincere questions. And then there's a post. Oh, well, the link that he sent, it looks like it's broken, unless I need to connect my wallet. Page not found. On mirror.xyz.
So
yeah, go ahead,
if
Logan.
you go to the URL at the top and strip out all the /XY. No, the page you just had off, the 404.
Okay.
Go to the 404 page.
Oh, sorry. Where'd it go? Right here. Okay.
All right. In your browser, there's a / and then an XY and a bunch of other stuff after it.
Yeah.
Just wipe all that out. It'll take you to his root mirror page, and it'll be the most recent article there. So just the top left one,
Man.
Hybrid theory, little puzzle pieces. Yep, that one. Click it. All right. Here we are. I spent, I don't know, at least 2 hours yesterday reading this. Put on some old Linkin Park because hybrid theory seemed to be in theme. I don't know.
Nice.
Meteor stands up really well actually, because I eventually burned through hybrid theory. But moving on, the core concept here seems to be that you have node operators that can restake with their 8 ETH of their mini pool without restaking with the 24 ETH from Rocket Pool. The 24 ETH from Rocket Pool is not being subjected to extra risks and slashing conditions and whatever. But the node operators are just individuals, right? They're not part of a block. They're not controlled by a DAO. And so you want the node operators to be able to choose to use their 8 ETH that they're contributing for the AVS system. And still have the 32 ETH available to join Ethereum as a validator, right? So the idea is to get those operators the potential to have increased yields, better yields they can get anywhere else, so that Rocket Pool has the glut of node operators available. Now, when you have extra node operators available, there's a supply and demand mechanic built into Rocket Pool, which will essentially give more money to the RETH holders. So some portion of that increase will get indirectly passed on to the RETH holders. But this proposal is really targeting how to enable the node operators to participate in restaking without putting the RETH holders at risk.
Okay. Good stuff. Yeah, this will be, I'm sure, a pretty hot topic at ETH Denver, and I'm sure Jasper will be there if anybody wants to come and say hi to them. This is good. Okay. He's got some ideas. Oh, here's a nice little graphic, huh? All right.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of showing the water flow of things. Like, oh, you take your ETH, you deposit into an LST. Cool, you get back your LST token, right? Then you take either the LST token or you bypass the LST layer and you deposit into an LRT layer, right? Now, okay, you get back your LRT token. Fine. And then what do we do from there? Well, I guess you sit and wait, but some AVS goes and, a node operator on EigenLayer goes and commits that collateral to the AVS system and then starts doing work, right? So yeah, it's everything to do with liquid restaking tokens is exactly what you already understand with Lido or Lido. It's just one more step up, right? It's exactly the same diagram. It's just one more step up. There's a couple diagrams in there with these very big pink boxes, and that kind of shows what he's proposing with who sets the withdrawal address of what to what. But I think my description is a lot more succinct. It's just, how do I get the node operator able to participate in restaking and give them the highest yield they can optimize without putting RETH holders at stake. He goes on about monetary theory for a while, what's going to make the hardest money, and what's going to it sort of flips Alito's argument on its head, where they want to say, oh, it's not that ETH is going to be money. No, ST ETH is going to be money. It's the most moneyest of the ETHs, right? Or of the cryptos, because one of these LSTs is going to dominate in some fat head theory, and the one that's going to dominate is going to be the one that has the most liquidity. And so we're going to have all these liquidity incentives in order to create initial demand, and then that's going to create like this flywheel that's going to cause us to soak up all the ETH, and it's okay, right? Because we've got 16 node operators or whatever, and so it's not all in one hand, and the industry's just like facepalm, right?
Right.
So RETH, it hasn't had the market share that I'd hope, but they've had a really hard time attracting node operators because the node operators have to put up extra collateral. So if you're a node operator on Lido, they just give you the ETH, the 32, and you go and deposit to the blockchain, and all of your CapEx expenses on the hardware and the IT side. But if you're a node operator on Rocket Pool, first you have to come up with 8 ETH for your mini pool, and then another 2.4 ETH worth of RPL. And so you're capital gated, right? At like 1/100th the nodes you otherwise would be. And that has always been holding them back. So it is rarely the case that the RETH deposit pool has been full. It is almost always the case that we're out of node operators. Not that we're out of people who are willing to hold RETH or deposit ETH for RETH. So what they're trying to do in this proposal is get those node operators more yield on Rocket Pool by virtue of those node operators being able to make individual decisions without having to coordinate through a DAO and act as like a giant block and be controlled externally about what AVSs they can support with their equipment. So as an individual node operator, if you have a couple extra terabytes of disk space because you're planning ahead for the ETH network stake growing, whatever it is, you can join AVS like EigenDA and now make extra money. And you can do that in a more agile, nimble way because you're not waiting for a coordination layer above you to permit you to do so, right? Um, and so with that and just the extra yield, so a node operator with Rocket Pool makes about 40% more on the ETH that they put in than if they were to stake their own ETH, right? Just because they're getting 24 ETH from the protocol and they're earning the commission on that 24 ETH, and that's a significant part of the revenue. So if you are a node operator, they want it to be a no-brainer choice to come over to Rocket Pool as a node operator. In fact, they'd like it if all these various LRTs were to use Rocket Pool underneath the hood. Like, they'd love it if Coinbase would come in and take Coinbase's ETH and deposit as Rocket Pool node operators and skim an extra 40% on the ETH for customer deposits, right? It's a mystery to me that we haven't seen someone like Kraken or Coinbase or, I don't know, Binance or someone do exactly that, right? Just come in and make 40% more, skim the difference, and call it corporate profit.
Does, in your view, does adding all this layers of complexity to staking make a larger attack surface or potential more surfaces for bugs or exploits to take advantage of this?
Well, the extra attack surface, so you have the eigenlayer smart contracts themselves. Those are relatively small and are under intense scrutiny.
Okay.
I'm not so much worried about a bug in the eigenlayer contract itself. I know that there's a multi-sig, so there's a 3 of 5 multi-sig that can do an upgrade anytime you have an upgradable contract. The problem isn't the current state of the contract. The problem is that someone can get malicious code into it and do whatever they need to. But there is a 7-day upgrade lock. 10-day upgrade lock on those contracts using the small multi-sig. And the larger multi-sig is geographically distributed enough that I'm not so worried about them trying to patch the contracts maliciously. It'd be hard to have any given government in the world like subpoena and compel those people to like rug all the ETH or something. So at the stage of the project it is right now, this all makes sense. Eventually they can patch it in a more final way and then remit ownership, right? Set the owner to the 0 address, basically burn the keys. And I expect they'll do that eventually, but probably not for a couple of years. So there is the risk of the eigenlayer contracts, but the much larger risk is the risk of the AVSs. Either there's a risk in the AVS code, which inadvertently creates the slashing condition. This would be the equivalent of something like a Geth bug, right? That would just suddenly have everyone getting inactivity leaked and getting their ETH destroyed. Just imagine that happening on EigenDA or something instead. There's a bug in the eigenlayer code which inadvertently causes honest participants to satisfy the slashing condition. And so the eigenlayer contracts start slashing everyone. I guess, kind of maliciously, but just code is law. That's one that, and every AVS has that risk as well, right? So it's not the risk of the core eigenlayer contracts, which I think have plenty of scrutiny right now. It's the risk of each of the AVSs. So imagine we have a Chainlink AVS, right? Just an oracle that swaps out the link collateral for stakers with ETH. Okay. What are the slashing conditions for those? That you make a guess as an oracle that's slightly too out of bounds with the consensus of your peers because someone DNS hacked you or whatever your data fee was, and so now you're getting slashed. Something like that can affect 40% of the globe at once, right? And can lead to a lot of pain. And so they've got a EigenLayer has responded to that criticism by creating a cabal, if you will, a secret conspiracy of people that can veto slashing, saying like, yes, this happened, but you seem to be acting honestly, so we're going to not slash you instead. And it's like, oh, that's nice. But obviously adds room for corruption. Now, they can't actively slash you. They can only veto slash you. But if they can say, oh, well, knowing that I'm not going to get slashed because I've got the veto in my pocket, what corruption can I do to extort people out of money and whatnot? It opens up a lot of bad games too, right?
I love the conspiracy cabal. I imagine them in a shadowy like cave with water dripping, with like hoods and like a couple of candles that are about to go out because they're so melted over the side of a stalactite.
They're probably holding a hot chocolate though, you know.
Like, I don't know. What do you think, Bob?
Exactly. Got the round table, stone chairs, right? Dripping
Oh my
couple
gosh.
candles.
Yeah.
Someone rolls out a D&D mat, you know.
Right. And they open up a couple of Pokemon card packs, like
Yeah, they have a
just,
Pokemon draft down there.
They're like just surprisingly nerdy, they're not even bad. They're just like play
It just
acting.
looks bad from an outside observer, right?
Right.
They're down there like they're trying to summon a demon. They're just playing D&D. It's whatever, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, you can get into, if you're an Ethereum researcher, you can look at this and come up with all kinds of troubling, tail risks.
Yeah.
But in terms of the balance of threat, I think they're striking the right balance of threat. I would rather have the veto committee than not have such a mechanism because of how new each of the AVSs is going to be.
Right.
And so I think every AVS will have to sort of graduate its way towards maturity where you can get off of the veto committee, finalize the code. They'll eventually they'll finalize the eigenpods so that they can't upgrade those contracts. And I just think they're doing this in a gradual way, which is appropriate for fledgling code that has this much TVL. I'm not worried about the multi-sig. I'm worried about the AVSs themselves having some critical bug. Like imagine now that you are on EigenDA, if some Cosmos chain starts using EigenDA for that, and then someone figures out how to get faulty data into the EigenDA layer, right? Like, oh, okay, now the blockchain over there starts to act on the DA layer, and what harm can that cause? And then, okay, well, can that affect liquidity somehow? Can someone actually get faulty state injection and just mint a bunch of USDC and then drain all the osmosis decks or something? We have black swan events, right? There's just we really need to take this with a view of this is going to be validated over the course of years. Right, there's a lot of hype, and there wasn't hype for way too long. I remember seeing EigenLayer in 2021 or something, and I was like, "This is going to be revolutionary." And I wrote about it, and then crickets. What the hell, guys? Right? And then a year later passes, and there's the first deposits, and I'm like, "No, seriously, EigenLayer, right?" And the deposits blew out, and there wasn't that much traffic about it. And then points hit, and we hit November or December, right? And that deposit was like, oh, everyone wakes up. Oh, EigenLayer and points. Oh my God. Being too early will make you feel a little insane sometimes.
Yeah, I hear that. It's going to be an exciting year. I wanted to share something, and thank you, Logri, for chiming in and helping out with some color on this, because I know you know way more about this stuff than I do. We don't have a sponsor, but I do want to share good news. Grid Plus just posted an hour ago. You can get a Lattice One for $88 off using the code Dragon88. But then if you scroll down, they have a subtweet that you can stack their other discounts they got going today. Safer Backups. If you use the code Safer Backups, you can get 50% off of Safeguard packs. And each Safeguard pack has 2 cards in it. You know me, I'm a nerd for that company, even though they laid me off, I still love them. But anyway, so if you're looking to get a hardware wallet, I can't recommend them enough. I just really enjoy mine, and I know several of the Mavericks have they have their own lattices, but 88 off.
It's not portable.
Yeah,
but it's a good thing.
Yeah. No, it serves a different purpose than being portable for sure. Well, the safeguards, you can use them in other people's lattices. So if you're traveling to your grandma's house and she has a lattice in her house, you can use your safeguards.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Totally. When they make a mobile version of the lattice, in slots or something.
Yeah.
So how you have tap as your credit card. Mm-hmm. When they have a tap safeguard or something, can load into a device that's the size of a thumb drive, like the Nano is.
I know they were kicking around. They were kicking around having a device that I can't remember how it worked. It was like a cell phone sized device, so you'd still get that touchscreen, and then they had they didn't have a tap, but it was like you could insert a safe card in the back of it somehow. They got people that are like, looking at, man.
There's two components to this. There's the near field communication available on your phone, and then there's the chip reader. And you could have a basic adapter that just takes the chip reader and then uses it with broadcast it over NFC. So you could just broadcast it to any near field communication enabled device.
Hey, I'm gonna change topics. Actually, I need to wrap up the show. And I want to get off of the live stream because I got a voicemail from Paul Brody. And I don't know what's in the voicemail, but maybe I'll just share with the people on Discord, but not on YouTube. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just wrap it up today. Thank you again, Low Green. Thanks for everybody hanging out today on this 55th episode for February 9th, 2024. Stick around after the live stream because we continue the party in the hotel lobby where we listen to a voicemail from Paul Brody on Discord for a bonus hour of popcorn. It's a fun place to let loose when the parents aren't watching on YouTube. Hi, Mom. On behalf of Ethfinance and the EVMavericks style, my name is JT. Cheers and big hugs from Kansas City.